What is up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another episode. Like I promised in that last video, I got you a little catch and cook coming up today. This is from, like I said, that last video got out, caught a bunch of redfish, decided to keep a few, and wanted to make a little bit of soup. It was a chilly day. I needed something to warm up and really heat up my soul. And this spicy redfish soup definitely did the job. If you guys are interested in making this soup, I'll drop the recipe down below. And if you guys are interested in a guided kayak fishing trip, surf fishing trip, boat fishing trip, any kind of fishing trip along the Alabama Gulf Coast, be sure to shoot me an email at kayaking.kennedy@gmail.com, or you can check out whistlemwaters.com. But I'm not going to hammer on too much. This is going to be kind of a short, sweet, to the point video, and it was good. It was definitely good, so y'all have to stick tuned, but we're not going to hammer on. Like I said, I'm going to go ahead and jump into it. Y'all stick with it. As soon as I turn my camera off, I hook my first fish of the morning. A little rat-a-tat. That's alright though, I'll take it. Yeah, I turned it off so I could find that boom in my camera. But I can still hear the rumbling. That's kind of, I don't know, that's kind of spooky. Alright, we're on the board. Alright, there it is, first fish of the morning. Definitely a little runt to tunt. I don't think this one's quite going to make it, but we will certainly measure it to see. That's actually 16.5, so don't normally like keeping them this small, but I want to be sure I can warm myself up with some soup here in a little bit. So we'll get this guy all bled out and get him on ice, and then we'll get back to it. He hit the paddle tail, like I said, it's literally as soon as I turned my camera off, he ate. So that's all right though. We got most of it on camera, and we're gonna still try to get a few more, so y'all stick with it. All right, well, we're all set up here on the oyster bar now. I found me a nice little oyster bar. There's one of the cool things about when the water is this low is you get to find a lot of stuff. I knew there was some oyster here. Did not realize there was quite this much oyster here. So definitely gonna keep that in mind come spring, summertime. Like I said, I've caught plenty of specks and stuff here in the past. Just didn't realize there was as much oyster as there is all the way out here too. Is just some heavy stuff. It's just kind of interesting too, because it's all just shell too. It's not actual live oysters, which, you know, I've always heard stories about Native Americans and stuff, you know, coming out here back hundreds of years ago to harvest oysters, and you know, they would have these big dump spots where they would just, you know, dump a lot of oysters that they cooked or you know, shucked and fixed. I'm kind of wondering if maybe this isn't one of those spots, because everywhere around this little section right here, nice little beach, is just covered in oysters. But got my setup now. I'm all ready for like I said, I'm gonna make a spicy redfish soup. Found a recipe online. It looked pretty good, looked pretty simple, pretty tasty, but it's pretty basic. Don't need a ton of ingredients. Just got a little bit of olive oil here to simmer my red onion and some garlic. The recipe called for fresh garlic, but I had some garlic in a jar in the fridge, so we just got some of that. You're also gonna need some red pepper flakes, some roasted red peppers in a jar, and some diced tomatoes. On top of that, you know, I plan on adding some salt and pepper just to kind of get it up to taste. And then I've got, you know, of course, got my nice redfish fillets, and I got a little a little blackening seasoning here, so I'll probably use some of that. And I also got my brand new Bajillo cup. It's a nice little cup. Sorry for the shaky camera, I'm about to fix that. But this is gonna be, you know, my good old saltwater cup. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just go ahead and start doing things. I'm gonna get the you know, get everything simmered and kind of start cooking it, and we'll see what happens. All right, alrighty, let's go ahead and get this fired up. Glad I checked that had gotten loose on me. Alright, got that fired up. I learned last time, don't need to have that heat up too high. Let's get some of this olive oil in there. That wasn't my best idea. Not going to take long for that to heat up. But I'm just kind of eyeballing everything. Ooh, a bit of water in there. Ah. Oh, put us So I got my fresh garlic here. Let me get my handy dandy Ozark Trail tool. I've had this since I was in like elementary school. I was a big camper, backyard camper back in elementary school. Had all the goodies. We'll just do a scoop of this. Not gonna do a ton of everything just because I'm just making one serving. I'll go ahead and dump all these red onions. Definitely using a lot less red onions than I need to. These are also some very spicy red onions too, so I'll stick that there. Get that simmering. That's good. All right, let's pull up this recipe so I know what to do exactly. 30-minute spicy redfish stew. All right, so let's go ahead and skip on down here. Saute the red onion and shallots in olive oil until they're soft and starting to brown. And we're gonna add some of the roasted red peppers in a jar. Canned diced tomatoes with juice. Finally, nope, so I added the garlic early. That's all right. That's all right. All right, so let that kind of start to brown a little bit. Getting pretty close. It's probably gonna cook pretty quick. And it already smells pretty good. Can't go wrong with garlic and onions. Always makes for a good combo. We'll just let that kind of saute for a minute. Alright, that's probably good on that. So let's go ahead and add some of these roasted red peppers. Should probably chop these up a little bit more, but that's alright. Alright, that should be good on the peppers. Now it called for a can of diced tomatoes with the juice. I'm not going to run the full can. I will get all the juice in there, but I don't think I need all of those tomatoes. So get that in there. Oh, yep. All right, and it said the red pepper flakes. I like a little spice, so we'll go kind of heavy on the red pepper flakes. Should be good. Fresh garlic, red pepper flakes, and all right, so we're gonna let that simmer for 10 minutes now. In the meantime, it's telling me to chop up my garlic and parsley and cilantro. I'm not going to put any cilantro into it, but I will go ahead and chop my fish up in the meantime. Oh, that's right in front of me. This says to chop them into, let's see, about 1-inch squares. A little bone there. Cut that out. All right, so the timer just went off on the simmer. Looking good, smelling great. Next thing we gotta do is add, it said to use fresh lemon and lemon zest, and again, I had one of these little guys of lemon juice in my fridge. Didn't really want to have to deal with bringing a lemon and zesting it out, so I just brought this little guy here. I'm just gonna add a little bit of lemon in there. A little tanginess. Now about the last step, just add the fish. Go ahead and add the fish. Nice fresh redfish. Like I said, I caught this fish about an hour and a half, 2 hours ago, so. I said mix just enough to get everything kind of stirring about in there. This is more of a I'd say this is more of a stew than a soup. Not a whole lot of juice to it, and that's all right. Maybe this fish will get a little bit. Get that mixed up in there, and I believe it just said to let this simmer for about another 10 minutes. All right, so we let that stew for about 5 to 7 minutes, just long enough for the fish pieces to start looking opaque, until you can see a small amount of liquid from the fish being released into the stew mixture. All right, so yeah, that's pretty much all of it. We'll give it just a tiny bit more heat, just to get it simmering. We'll cover her back up. That is looking fantastic. Smells fantastic too, so hopefully the smell and the taste match. But we'll let that simmer for a little bit, and we'll check back in a few minutes. All right, fish soup's all finished up. Got my spoon already. Y'all know what that means. Time to get me some water. Got some nice clean water right here, a little bit of oyster in it, so we maybe get a little bit of extra lime. Clean my cup out. There is stuff floating all in that. Kind of reminds me of the first one I did. Woo, ready. Oh, why do I do this to myself? Oh, there's a piece of old terracotta. I wonder if that's Indian pottery. All right, let's get this. I'll get you back on the other camera and give it a taste. All right, we're all set. Got my nice Bahio triggerfish cup with some fantastic salt water in it. We got some delicious smelling fish soup. So we're gonna go ahead and give this a taste. I'm pretty happy with how this turned out, or at least how it looks, I should say. Looks fantastic, but we'll give it a bite just to see how it tastes. Make sure we get a little bit of fish. Get a new locker. Get some fish, get some peppers, get some tomatoes, get a little bit of everything. Give it a little taste. Have one bite, everybody knows the rules. Very hot. Very hot. Woo! Oh, I think it just scorched my tongue, but that is fantastic. Right level of spice, right level of taste. Everything mellowed out pretty well. It's actually got more juice in it than I expected. And man, this is fantastic. But you know what we gotta do? You gotta rinse it down with a little bit of salt water. Get my vitamins and sodium and worms and parasites and all that, but oh, that's tough. That's tough. That is really tough. But the fish will cover up that taste. This is definitely going to go into my recipe book. I have to write this one down when I get home, because that right there that's the bee's knees. That is fantastic. But I think I'm gonna hang out here, enjoy my view a little bit more. This nice clear day, warmed up pretty well now, where it's warm enough that I'm not freezing myself to death, but I'm also not hot, and I'm able to enjoy this soup. But I think I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna finish up this soup, enjoy my day, pack her on up, and head back to the truck. It definitely turned out to be a good day. You know, I think I'm gonna start doing these kind of two-part series, you know, do the full day like I did last time, and do the catch and cook kind of that way. You know, I don't have a 20-30 minute video, but if you guys are enjoying these, if you like seeing this, be sure to drop me a comment below and let me know if you got any good recipes or anything. Be sure to shoot them my way at kayaking.kennedy@gmail.com, or you can even just leave it in the comments below. But yeah, I'm really enjoying this. I'm enjoying my new canoe. I'm enjoying getting back to, you know, like I said, I did a lot of camping and stuff when I was a kid, and it's definitely been a lot of fun. So if you guys like this, be sure to shoot me that thumbs up. Make sure you guys are subscribed up, ring that notification bell. I'm sure you can tell over the past couple of weeks. Like I said, I'm trying to stick to it. I'm trying to get a lot of videos out this year. I'm trying to just really pump them out and just see what happens. But I appreciate you guys tuning in. I appreciate all the support. I appreciate you guys watching this long. I will catch you in the next one.